In 1888 Montana, prison guards escort Isaac Broadway to his execution for a crime he says he did not commit. As a priest named Jacob asks for a final confession, a young man named Henry arrives. Henry is Isaac's son and meets him for the first time. Isaac tells Henry he is innocent and vows to find the person who framed him. A stranger named Christopher watches the execution with a satisfied look. This is the unholy Trinity. After the execution, Henry carries his father's ashes to a remote town called Trinity. His late mother told him the man behind Isaac's suffering is Saul Butler, the town's head sheriff. On the way, Henry stops at a bar and unexpectedly meets Christopher again. No one knows who Christopher is or how he connects to Isaac. He warns Henry to stay safe and gives him a pistol. Trinity is a rough mining town. A lively bar serves as the main gathering spot. The sheriff's office keeps order. A large church shows the town's religious side. Henry soon encounters a man named Dove, the new sheriff who replaced Saul Butler. Without knowing this, Henry follows Dove into the church and points his pistol at him. Dove quickly disarms him and explains that Saul Butler is dead. The disturbance draws attention from Gideon, the mining boss who once supported Butler. Dove chooses not to arrest Henry and tells the crowd to leave. Dove invites Henry to the bar for a meal and urges him to go home before trouble starts. He even arranges a room for the night. Dove is an Irishman assigned to take Butler's place. Gideon remains suspicious about Butler's death and pressures Dove to arrest a Native American woman rumored to be responsible. Dove refuses to act without proof. He travels to Strawberry Creek to find the woman named Running. Late at night, he speaks with her. Running denies the accusation and explains that Butler and his men killed her parents years earlier. After leaving Running, the story shifts back to town. Henry sits in a bar trying to look tough, only there because Dove treated him earlier. A hostess named Julia flirts with him, but the moment ends when a gang led by Asa and his brother Austin storms in and mocks Henry for carrying his father's ashes. As tension rises, Julia takes Henry to a private room.
Girl, right? Well, most men take no time at all.
Asa barges in and demands service. Julia pulls a pistol and orders him out. Asa lunges, the gun fires, and Julia falls. Henry grabs the pistol and shoots Asa, sending him over the railing. The innkeeper hears the shots as Henry jumps down and runs. Outside, Austin and his men find Asa dead. Red, one of Asa's men, searches the area and finds Henry hiding in the stables. Henry tries to stab him with a pitchfork, but Red is barely hurt. Red corners Henry until Christopher appears and kills Red. Henry follows Christopher without knowing why he helped. Dove is still away at Strawberry Creek, so his wife Sarah handles town matters. Gideon, already hostile toward Dove, vents his anger at her. Afterward, Sarah visits Rachel, who is pregnant with Asa's child, to calm her. At dawn, Christopher takes Henry to the river to wash off the blood. There he reveals the truth. Years earlier, he and Isaac mined gold together. Isaac betrayed him and hid the gold. Christopher admits he stayed close to Henry only to find the treasure. Christopher leads Henry to an old mine where the priest Jacob waits. Jacob is no priest at all. He had pretended to comfort Isaac to gain information and expects a share of the treasure. Back in Trinity, Dove inspects the bodies from the night's violence. Gideon reports that Henry is responsible and vows to hunt him down. Knowing Henry is in danger, Dove leaves Sarah and rides out. On the road he meets Running, who saw Henry leave with Christopher, and she guides him to the mine. At the mine, Christopher, Jacob, and their men open fire. A fierce shootout follows. Running joins Dove in the fight. As she covers the rear, Dove battles Jacob hand to hand. Jacob grabs a weapon, but Henry shoots him from behind. Christopher retreats, alone. Henry returns to Trinity and hides in the stable near Dove's home. Dove explains that the house once belonged to Isaac when he served as a lawman. Henry suspects the hidden gold might still be inside. Dove adds that Butler, before his death, renovated the house many times, likely searching for the same treasure. Meanwhile, Christopher arrives in Trinity and heads to the bar where Gideon and his men are gathered. With quick talk, he distracts them by revealing Running's location near the hillside mine, giving Henry the chance to escape. Gideon seizes the moment and sends his men to search the area. At the same time, Dove arrives at the bar to examine the scene of Asa's death. He quickly realizes what Christopher has done and rides toward the hill to protect Running. While Dove is away, Christopher goes to Sarah's house. He gains entry with polite words and questions her about the history of the house. When she offers nothing useful, he loses patience and threatens her with a straight razor. Before Christopher can strike, Henry fires a warning shot from outside, forcing him to back away. Henry tells him that his only goal is to find Isaac's hidden gold. He adds that Sheriff Butler searched the house for years and never found any treasure. Meanwhile, Dove reaches the hill and warns Running to leave. She refuses, determined to fight after all she has endured. Gideon soon arrives with his men and demands that she surrender for the deaths of Sheriff Butler and the priest Jacob. To protect her, Dove claims responsibility for the killings to buy her time. A gunfight breaks out. The exchange is heavy and deadly. Running is hit several times in the abdomen. Gideon's only son also dies from blood loss as Dove carries the wounded Running away. That night, Sarah treats Running's injuries while Dove and Henry prepare the house for an attack, gathering what little they have. At the bar, Gideon rallies more men for another assault. Christopher joins the planning, convinced that Dove and the others are hiding in the sheriff's residence because he saw Henry visit Sarah there earlier. Christopher stays behind after the meeting and speaks with the bartender, who knows much about Isaac. The bartender explains that Isaac was once an honest and respected sheriff who built many public facilities, including the grand church where he spent much of his time. Believing the gold is hidden in the church, Christopher shoots the bartender to keep the information secret, then calmly finishes his drink. As night approaches, Gideon's men surround the house and open fire. Inside, Dove takes position and returns fire while Henry, Sarah, and the now conscious Running join the defense. Henry looks out the window, is captured, and dragged to the stables for execution. Dove rushes down from the second floor but is ambushed by Gideon's men. In the stables, Austin and his crew tie Henry up and beat him, demanding the location of Isaac's gold. When Austin steps outside, one of his own men, long mistreated, turns on the gang and shoots another member, siding with Henry. Outside, Austin exchanges gunfire with Running and Sarah as they protect the house. Dove defeats his attackers and moves toward the stables. Austin tries to avenge his brother, but Henry escapes and kills him. The fight ends with only Gideon and one assistant alive. Dove orders them to stop. Gideon refuses and raises his weapon. Dove shoots and kills both men. After the battle, Dove and Henry search for Christopher and find him in the church. Christopher has already killed others, so he can dig for the gold. Cornered, he admits that he betrayed Isaac out of spite when Isaac refused to share the stolen gold. Henry spares Christopher's life because Christopher once saved him. As Henry ties him up, a hidden trap goes off and wounds Henry. Christopher fires again, forcing Dove to kill him. When the violence ends, Dove carries the wounded Henry outside. Christopher, still alive and bleeding, remains behind to weep over the pile of gold he uncovered, too weak to take it. Peace returns to Trinity. Dove appoints Henry as the new sheriff. Before starting his duty, Henry scatters Isaac's ashes at the river, with Running beside him as his deputy. The end. So the moral of the story is greed for gold just gets you shot.